why your motivation keeps disappearing and how to fix it. You wake up Monday morning with fire. Today's the day. You're going to crush that workout, finally start that project, stick to the plan. The motivation is real. It's strong. You can feel it. By Wednesday, it's gone. The energy has evaporated, the plan feels heavy, and you're back to wondering what happened again. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not broken. But something fundamental has changed about the way motivation works in your brain. And once you understand what it is, you can actually do something about it. Let's be honest about the pattern. You've lived it. Maybe you're living it right now. You decide to exercise. The first few days, maybe even the first week, motivation is sky high. You hit the gym, you go for the run, you do the workout. It feels incredible. You're on track. This time is different. Then one morning, it's harder. The alarm goes off and the bed just wins. Or work gets heavy, or something small throws you off. The streak breaks. Not because you stopped caring, but because the motivation that pushed you through just wasn't there anymore. Or maybe it's at work. You start a project excited, the ideas are flowing, you're putting in extra time, you can see the vision. But after a while, the drive fades. Tasks that felt energizing now feel like they're dragging you down. Procrastination creeps in, you push through for a bit, but it's not the same energy as the beginning. Even personal goals, learning a language, reading more, saving money, eating better, the start is always strong. The app streak builds, the habit feels possible, you can taste the change. But then motivation dips, the pull of easier things wins. The streak breaks, and with it comes the guilt, the frustration, the question, why can't I just stay consistent? This cycle isn't about being undisciplined. It's not about lacking willpower in some fundamental way. It's not even about not wanting it enough. Most people desperately want the change. They have the desire, they have the reasons, but the motivation that used to carry them through weeks or months now comes and goes in bursts. Strong one day, gone the next. Highs and lows instead of a steady flame. Think back. Not to some idealized past, but to how motivation actually felt 10, 15 years ago. When you set a goal, studying for exams, training for something, saving for a big purchase, the motivation was more steady. It wasn't always high. Some days were hard. Some days you didn't feel like doing it. But there was a baseline that kept you going. The drive didn't vanish completely. You could push through the low days because the underlying current was still there, pulling you forward. Now, motivation feels unreliable, almost fickle. It arrives in waves that crash hard and then recede completely. The highs are higher than they used to be, sure, but the lows are way lower, and consistency feels less like a choice and more like luck. Like you're at the mercy of whether motivation decides to show up that day. So, what changed? The answer isn't inside you, it's around you. The modern world created this. It didn't happen by accident. Your brain didn't suddenly become weaker or less capable. Motivation became unreliable because the environment you live in was intentionally designed to make it that way. From the moment you wake up, your day is full of things that give immediate dopamine hits, small rewards that your brain registers instantly, and every single one of them conditions you a little more. The phone is there, notifications waiting, messages, feeds designed by some of the smartest engineers in the world to be irresistible. Your brain gets rewarded for quick reactions. Check, swipe, click, instant hit. Breakfast comes with a screen. The commute comes with audio, podcasts, music, news, constant input. At work, there's email, Slack, notifications, meetings, messages. Your attention is being pulled in 10 directions, and each pull comes with its own micro-reward. During breaks, more quick distractions. Scroll through social media, watch a short video, check the news, get another hit. Leisure time? Streaming, scrolling, gaming. all of it designed to deliver pleasure fast and keep you coming back. There is no space, no pause, no room for boredom, no moment where your brain isn't getting some kind of stimulation. And in this environment of constant stimulation, motivation gets trained to be bursty. Your brain becomes accustomed to quick rewards. The tolerance goes up. What used to motivate you steadily now feels boring. The bar for what counts as exciting keeps rising. Steady effort, the kind that builds real change, starts to feel dull compared to the constant novelty. This is the core of why motivation feels unreliable now. It's not that your drive is gone. It's not that you've lost something essential. It's that the conditions required for steady, reliable motivation have been systematically eroded. The space where slow-building drive used to live has been filled completely with quick hits, and your tolerance for effort without immediate reward has quietly, gradually lowered. Here's what's happening in your brain. Every time you get a quick dopamine hit, a notification, a like, a funny video, a message, your brain registers a reward. And like any system that learns through reward, it starts to expect that pattern. Do something, get a reward, fast. Do something else, get a reward, fast. Again and again and again. Your brain learns effort should lead to immediate payoff. Waiting feels wrong. Delayed gratification feels like punishment. And steady, patient work toward a distant goal, that starts to feel almost unbearable. This is why motivation comes in bursts now. The start of any goal gives you a quick hit. New app downloaded, first workout done, first chapter read. Your brain gets that initial reward and says, yes, this feels good. But as the days go on, the novelty fades. The rewards become less immediate. The effort stays the same, but the payoff feels further away. And your brain, trained on quick hits, starts looking for the exit. You're not lazy. You're not weak. Your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do. It's seeking the quickest path to reward. And in a world designed to provide that constantly, steady motivation becomes the exception rather than the rule. The highs are higher because new things still trigger that dopamine, but the lows are lower because the baseline, that steady, reliable drive, has been replaced by dependency on bursts. You're riding waves instead of sailing with a consistent wind. So what do most people do when motivation feels unreliable? They look for hacks, more apps, better routines, motivational videos, accountability partners, new frameworks, just do it mindset. And look, some of these things can help, but they can't undo the fundamental conditioning if the environment stays the same. Because here's the thing. You can't hack your way out of an environment that's constantly pulling you toward quick rewards. You can download the perfect habit tracker, but if you're still reaching for your phone every 5 minutes, the underlying pattern remains. You can watch motivation videos that fire you up, but if your day is still filled with constant stimulation, that fire will fade just as fast as it came. The answer isn't more tactics. The answer is changing the conditions. And that starts with something almost nobody wants to hear: space. Not the fun kind of space, not the relaxing, spa day, treat yourself kind of space. The uncomfortable kind. The kind where you sit with boredom, where you resist the urge to fill every gap with input, where effort is allowed to be just effort without a dopamine chaser. Relearning reliable motivation begins with discomfort, real discomfort. Not the dramatic kind, the boring kind. The urge to check your phone appears. You feel it, that pull, that itch, and instead of reaching for it immediately, you wait. You sit with the discomfort. The urge to scroll appears, to escape the moment, to fill the silence, and you let it be there without acting on it. This isn't about willpower, it's about reconditioning. It's about creating the space where slow-building motivation can exist again. Because when you stop filling every gap, something subtle shifts. The mind slows down. The constant seeking for the next hit quiets. And in that quiet, effort starts to become its own reward again. You go for a run and it's hard, but you're not reaching for a distraction the second it gets uncomfortable. You work on a project and you're not checking notifications every 5 minutes. You sit with a book and you're actually there, present with the words, instead of skimming while part of your brain looks for the next thing. Motivation returns quietly when you give it space, not as bursts, not as high as that crash into lows, but as steadiness, as that reliable current you remember from before. It doesn't announce itself dramatically, it just shows up, consistent, dependable, there when you need it. This is how you rebuild it, one day without reaching for the next hit, one effort without demanding immediate reward, one choice to stay with the discomfort instead of escaping it. Your brain will resist at first. It's been trained otherwise. The urges will be strong, but they're just urges, conditioning, and conditioning can be reversed. Habits can soften. The tolerance for delayed gratification can be rebuilt. Motivation feels unreliable now because it was trained to be unreliable, because the modern world filled every gap with quick rewards and made steady effort feel inadequate by comparison. But that training isn't permanent, it's reversible. The path back isn't complicated, it's just uncomfortable, and that discomfort is exactly what makes it work. Because motivation isn't gone, it never was. It's been made bursty, distracted, chased into highs and lows, and it's waiting patiently for the simplest thing we stopped giving it. One moment without filling it, one effort without demanding instant payoff, one choice to stay present with what's hard. That's where motivation begins to feel reliable again. Not loud, not flashy, just steady, just there, the way it used to be. If this hit home for you, do me a favor, share it with someone who's struggling with this too, someone who keeps starting strong and fading out, someone who thinks they're broken when really they've just been conditioned by the world around them. And drop a comment. Tell me, what's one thing you're going to try this week to create more space? One moment where you'll resist the urge to fill the gap. I want to hear it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.